What's up, Andy with Wild Water River Guides. Going to tell you a little bit about the Cooper Visual Gauge. So just like the Cle Elum, I don't like using the online gauge to see what's going on with the Cooper River. If you're curious about what I'm saying, then check out my Cle Elum Visual Gauge video. It talks about exactly why the online gauge is not optimal for figuring out these upper drainages. But either way, just drive up here to the Cooper Takeout at the San Milisac Trailhead, and you hike up to the last rapid, Wall of Voodoo, and take a look at the river right shore. So this rock face that you see over here on the river right shore, just upstream of the main ledge for the Wall of Voodoo, pretty much makes the eddy that a lot of people get out and scout this rapid from. And what I'm looking at specifically is that the amount of water that's coming over. When it's at a medium level, only the upstream half of this rock is going to be wet and or covered. When it's at kind of a medium plus, you're going to have more of what you're seeing today. And if it's at a high level, it's going to be pouring over almost as though you could just float over it. And at a low level, it's going to be just a trickle on the far upstream side, or just maybe a little bit damp on the lower end of low. And if it's like really low, it's dry. So that's kind of my visual check for this one. I'll throw up a handful of videos kind of showing a decent reference for a solid medium, a low, and a high. So I just walk out here to the Wall of Voodoo Rapid. As most people do, it's right here at the takeout. When you're checking that visual, you can also just take a look at the rapid itself, just kind of take a mental check of like, would I run it today? That's a good, personal gauge that you might have. But it's hard to just tell based on what the Voodoo Nub rock looks like, because it's so surgy in there, you can't really get a good idea. So I like using this rock face upstream. It's been fairly consistent over the years for me, and that's the gauge I like to check. I got a handful of videos on my personal channel at Full Face Andy, kind of showing some different levels that I've boated the Cooper at, and I've ran it from the higher end all the way down to a pretty low end. I've seen it go higher and I've seen it go lower. So there's a wide range of flows on this. It's pretty much your personal taste on whether you like rocks or whether you don't like rocks. So feel free to check those out. I'll put some links down below and up here and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so my visual gauge isn't as convenient as an online gauge, but lucky for you, I come out here most Thursdays throughout the season to give you a visual reference on my Educated Guest series. So be sure to tune back in and check that out. If you have any other information about a specific visual that you use, please drop that information down below, because I'm always trying to get as much knowledge as I can about these rivers and how other people look at them. If you found this useful, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Be sure to tune back in next time when I give out more visual gauges. If you have any other ideas on visual gauges, drop those down below. I'd love to probably do a cup date, maybe even a top tie. Yeah, but until next time, take it easy.